Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Perfect timing.
Hi, Chris. It's going really well. How about you?
I feel absolutely thrilled and delighted to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Are you a projector?
Well noticed. Yes, I'm a splenic projector, 2-4.
Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm a 2-4 as well.
Oh, delightful.
Yeah. Where are you from, Chris? Where are you now? I mean.
Oh, Salt Lake City.
Oh, cool. I've been there. Really nice, clean city. Sounds like you might have switched to a different language. No. Okay. Hi, Jamie. It's nice to see your face.
Good morning. You too, Vicky.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's so nice for me to see eyeballs. So if you're feeling brave, you don't have to, but if you're feeling brave, thank you. Hi, Sarah. So is it Marcy? Is that how you say your name? I love that.
Maryse.
Maurice. Oh, that's even more beautiful.
Ça va bien.
All these beautiful accents. Okay, so I think we still have one more minute here. I'll just wait so that people can keep joining. Has anybody already written a report?
Me.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let me just check the participants here. Okay, so right at the top of the hour, we will, it is the top of the hour now, so we will get started. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's automatically recording, so you'll get the replay later. Everyone who's registered will get the replay later. Just some housekeeping tips, housekeeping notes. I do have this on speaker view, which means that for the most part, it will be my face on the replay. You know how Zoom works by now. So there's like, you'll see the little faces if you're okay with that. If you don't want to be shown on camera, if you are asking a question or contributing to the conversation, which I really hope that you do, just turn your camera off if you don't want to be on the replay on speaker view. Okay, that's completely fine, but just a reminder for privacy. If you have a name other than your own name that you use for your business and you want to change that in your Zoom settings so that people can find you after the replay or when they watch the replay, that's completely fine too. You can rename yourself in your Zoom room if you'd like. This is really a conversation. So I would love it if you would talk to me, interact with me. We'll be talking a lot about reports. Today, we're going to be kind of setting the foundation. So over the course of 6 calls together and hopefully some group discussion in the Bodygraph chart community, we're going to really dive into getting this beast done. Does it feel like a beast to anyone to do a report? I was like, I'm the least tech savvy person. Now we don't have to be tech savvy anymore, right? Because of the new report tool. But back when I created mine, we didn't have that. And I had hired someone to work with me on it because like tech just seems to not be the way my brain works really well. So that was the part that scared me for sure more than the content. But I hear you when you say that lots of times it's the content piece that's like, oh my gosh, like how am I going to create all of this stuff? But has anybody checked out the new report tool? Have you been looking at that? Isn't that the coolest thing ever? Oh my gosh. It's so cool. So if you haven't looked at that, Silvana did a video and it's posted in the Bodygraph chart group. And of course, it's on the website and YouTube and all those places. And she walks you through all of the things with it. It is amazing, 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 amazing. So easy to use. Yeah, it will automatically feel familiar to you to work with that. So first things first, icebreaker question, because I always love to know who I'm in the room with. And I think it's nice for us to get to know each other a little bit in the community. Just a quick little bit. What is the worst piece of advice you've ever received? And it can be human design or otherwise. Worst piece of advice you've ever gotten in your life. Let's share them in the chat, or you can unmute and talk if you'd like to. I didn't even think of one for myself that I could share this morning. Well, man.
Something I chose to believe as a very young person on this planet was to not ask questions.
Isn't that funny? Funny, not funny.
I really appreciate that belief mechanism. It allows me to be who I am now.
Oh, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yeah, we choose our journey, right? Take care of others first. Jamie is saying, sorry, I have to go back. Listen to what I say or do what I say. You can't do that. Yes, you can't do that. Always looking for someone else's needs as more important than mine. Yep. For me, as a manifesting generator with theme of intensity in my design, intensity, fire, all of those things, it was always, well, of course, like every manifesting generator on the planet, I think, stop doing too many things. Can't you just stick to one thing? The one offer, one funnel, 1 million. That I was on that train for a while and I couldn't figure out why it didn't work for me. So isn't human design just the best gift of all that you could have received? Oh my God, I so wish I had had it when my kids were younger. Work, work, work. Someone's saying in the chat. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to keep reading these for a second. Rush, always faster and harder. Yeah. Listen to the authority figure. Don't be so sensitive. Oh, yeah. Yes. Uh, focus on one thing until it's done. Horrid advice. Yes. Finish what you start. Yes, yes, yes. All of these messages that we get. Keep going. Don't listen to your body. Keep working. For me, it was not exactly a question, but it was hard to process for years. Whatever you're going to make, it is going to be a mistake for 3-5. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh. Got to work to earn your right to live and don't be so soft. Yes, just the way life is. Deal with it. There's a strong push in academia to focus on just one research agenda. I would always have 5 or 6, finally settled on 2. Yeah. Yeah. And I have to be reminded, my husband is a 1-3 Manny Gen. And so many times, like even that third line profile comes out to play sometimes and it drives me insane. Like I love it in my grandchildren, but in him, I forget that this is how he has to learn by like running fast and breaking things or like doing things backwards or breaking things, always breaking things. And I have to remind myself, oh yeah, okay, that's what he's supposed to be. Okay, one more. I'll just read this last one. You don't have a right to feel a way about everything. Yeah, make it happen, forcing instead of listening to vibration resistant. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for sharing that with me. It's so interesting how we all have parts of the same story, right? All of this conditioning that we have. Okay, so let's dig into our report business. And I have notes here and notes on my screen there as well. Can you guys hear me okay? Because I also have my microphone held up by a mug. Okay. So what I would love to encourage you to notice whenever we are doing things in the Bodygraph chart community, whenever I'm doing things in the Bodygraph chart community, or if you're in my world, is that what I'm trying to do is lead by example. And I really want you to get that this is exactly how you can do things in your own business if you so choose. You don't have to do them my way, but like one of the things that you have seen us do here is that we are creating assets and we're using them over and over and over again. So really trying to get out of the piece of our businesses where we create something once and then it just goes away by the waysides and we don't do anything with it again. So we want you to be able to see how you can reuse things. And also like with this 21-day experience that we have come up with, we didn't just like come up with it out of, my son used to say, out of smooth air. We didn't just come up with it out of smooth air. We actually did market research in the group, and you see us doing that, right? And we want you to be able to do that with your own people as well, to always be taking the temperature of the room and seeing what your people need before you create something. Because, I mean, Gittes could have had me create a whole big thing and present it to you guys, and then it fall flat and be like, nobody actually wants this. So you don't want to be doing that in your business. You want to be figuring out what people actually want and then delivering it to them. So as we go through, I'm building the workbook as we go through this experience. So you guys are the pioneers. If you're here, you're like the early adapter, the ones who like jump in and say, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I love that. And I'm building the workbook as we go. So just like, rather than building the whole thing and then being like, oh shoot, I wish we had included that, or wish we included this. If you hear something, think something should be added, just put a little asterisk in front of it and just pop it in there. Or if somebody says something or you want to contribute something that you think should be in the workbook, just add a sentence in there with a little star in front of it, and we'll make sure that that gets added. I'm like way ahead of my notes here. Give me a second. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is which report should you build? Do you have any ideas that you'd like to share? And also, this is a collaborative space, so it's not a space where we have to worry about somebody taking our ideas or anything like that, because we're all here to fulfill our own dharma, right? So anybody have ideas that you're thinking of already for your go ahead, Chris.
Thank you for the magnificent question and for allowing me to contribute. I'm brand new to the human design, quantum human design, gene keys practitioner endeavor. My former life was a software engineer. And as we already discovered, I'm a projector, splenic projector with the crown and the ajna defined as well. So I feel very drawn towards contributing to these reports. My business partner, she's also a splenic projector, but not tech savvy. And she has the throat and the G center defined, and she's absolutely delightful because we synergize so well and we're in alignment with purpose. And the first chart that we both felt called to offer is to create a foundation for people in their self-discovery journey. And so talking about some of the elements of the free chart that is being offered so that they have this sense of stability, of security, of I understand what this means, and this can inspire me to ask additional questions for additional counseling and additional guiding sessions with us. We feel it's important that each one of our clients has that foundation with the confidence that allows them to ask additional questions. So we're talking about the strategy, the type, the profile, and some of those types of really fundamental, foundational components that immediately we find people asking, well, what does this mean? What does this mean?
Mm-hmm. I love that because you're saying we find people asking. So you're answering a need, which is really, really, really important. So is there anyone on the call here who is just brand new and hasn't really been working with clients a lot yet? You can pop it in the chat, or I can only see a few people because I have it on speaker view. Yep, that's me. Okay. Okay, so it's a little bit harder when you haven't had clients yet. Like Chris is saying, you know, he understands what people are asking about. They're running their free chart and then they are asking questions, and he's really put some thought into and some feeling maybe into what the next step needs to be for them. But if you haven't yet worked with clients, it can be really, really hard to get that starting point. So one of the things that you can start to think about is, what do you love to talk about? What do you love to do with your human design? What is the thing that draws you the most with human design? Like, you know, there is something that you are more passionate about in human design than other things in human design. So you can completely create something with that, and or start to do market research about that. So we have this conversation around niche. Do you guys have this parenting? Somebody saying that. Do you guys have this conversation around niche all the time, where you like feel your head is going to break about trying to choose a niche? Maybe that's like, well, Manny Gens, definitely 2/4s or second line profiles for sure. Yeah, niche brain horror. Yes, 3/5. Yeah, like it's crazy. So let's let all that niche talk go for the purposes of this. And this is just like going with where you are drawn to. What's alive for you right now? What's most magical for you right now in the human design space when you're creating a human design report? And if you already have an existing human design business and this isn't your first rodeo, what are people asking you? Start to look at those things that people are asking you for. Start to look at who's noticing your posts, who's liking your posts, who's coming into your world. So you're going to marry both of those things together. On the niche topic, I think it's James Wedmore that says like your niche knows you. So we don't have to worry, like they're going to find you. And over time in your human design business, for those of you that are saying that you're just starting out and you're just new in business or in your human design aspect of your business, over time, you will get tighter and tighter and tighter into a niche. Like you will just gradually gravitate towards something that you are lit up for and that you're really, really good at. But for now, it might be a little bit of stabbing in the dark. It might be a little bit of experimentation. All of you third line profiles are going to absolutely love this experimentation phase where you get to just kind of play in it. So let's just let it be easy for this. So does anybody else have an idea for what they want to do for their report yet? You can unmute or you can talk in the chat. I'm having a hard time keeping up to the chat now because there's a lot here, okay? But I promise I will go through it before we close out the call. Just to see if there are questions. Hi.
Hi. I'd like to integrate a bit more of a shadow work into the readings. And yeah, so that's kind of been a question for me. I have the platform for a long time now, but I kind of drew back from it because well, life and at the beginning I found that it's been like a year or more. And like the templates weren't corresponding to what I wanted to make visually. And so I kind of got disconnected, and then I came back because I've seen like there's a lot of new stuff, and yeah, so I'm loving it. And I wanted to ask about the dynamics and how it would work fitting in this kind of shadow part, without compromising the foundations. Of course, it's not that I just want to, I would like to do, if people want only shadow reports, but eventually, but also both. So
I love that. It's different. It seems different. So what do you have other offers in your business right now?
I actually haven't. I mean, the shadow offer is quite on the side. It's just for like it's not my main thing. It's mostly foundational. I'm a feminine embodiment coach, so I do work in an integrative way. You know, I kind of work with and a lot of parents and composite charts. But I really want to get into the reports so that I can gain a bit of time. So because for now it's taking me a lot of time because I do it personally and I love doing it, but I'd like to keep it just for a few people, like very like niche, you know, opening like for 2 or 3 readings that are very deep and that take me this time. But I would also like to be able to give maybe also more competitive pricing readings with this tool, you know, because it will definitely impact the price if I can make it easier for me.
So more competitive pricing with your big readings or with these report readings?
I mean, these reports, if I can make these, with these reports, they're more, the price is better for them because it's immediate. And also it kind of, I know that there's a lot of people that like to have it now.
Yeah.
You know, and when I do the reports, these deep ones where I do everything and I look into everything, it does take me 3 weeks.
Yes. Sorry, my internet was glitching there. Okay, so how much are your readings that you offer now?
Like the readings are $99.
For the full readings that you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's still quite cheap in a way, but I'm in South America. So I kind
Okay.
of
Yeah,
have to.
that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So when
I'm
we're
in South
talking-
America. Before I was in.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, it's fine.
That's what I think we need to remember when we're on these calls is that everybody's like, let's not get pricing envy or pricing judgment or any of that stuff, because we're all in different parts of the world and things are different prices everywhere in the world, right? So we have to keep that in mind as well. And you have to know that, like, I don't know your market, like I know my market. So
Yeah.
so yes, this can, I love where you're going with the shadow reports. It could be really, really powerful for sure. So when we're looking at it, you said you're a feminine embodiment coach and that you do a lot of work with parents and kids. So can you see how that shadow report could go in really well with either of those and take people to the next step? Have them take the next step with you?
Yeah.
Like, do you see it as you could sell them on that report and then do an in-depth reading, or do you think it has to be one or the other?
Yeah. No, I think absolutely. I think I would like these first reports to be like a funnel. So to keep them, I would like to keep them like not short enough, but like concise enough for people to feel they're taking their first steps, because also my market is not like, of course, the US or even or Australia or Europe, where there's much more awareness. Human design is here, but it's not like elsewhere. So I feel that these reports could be like the first steps to either ask for more reports or then go to the coaching. Then I do like sessions like for 3 months, and it's like the next step.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. So that's one of the things, I'm really glad that you brought that up, Maya. That's one of the things that I would also invite us all to consider is, what stage of awareness is your audience in? You really, really, really want to know that, need to know that before you create something. So start to do some thinking around, like, am I because here's something that I see happening in the human design space. I'll call us all out on it. Is that, like, we have all of this knowledge of human design and it's so great and we are surrounded by it because I don't. So please don't be insulted if I don't follow you anywhere online, because I really try not to surround myself with all human design people, because we can very quickly begin to think that everyone knows everything about human design and that everyone talks about human design and understands more than they do. And then when we go to try to create something for our own clients or our own audience, we talk like way up here and we're talking about an ajna and they're like, what the heck is an ajna? And we're talking about motors and they're like, what are you talking about, motors or sacral or all these things that our audience has no clue what we're talking about. So we've lost them. So that's one of the things that's really important as you start to build your report, is to think about, who am I actually serving? For those of you that are really, really, really new in business or just starting your human design business, you probably are the person who's bringing human design to your audience. So you really want to think about, what did I need to know when I very first started? So my experience with human design was not magical. I know some of you have had magical experiences and I'm really envious of that. But my introduction was really, really rocky. And I came in and I was one of those people who were like, I don't get the words. I was already in the spiritual community. I don't get the words. I'm not getting what it means. I had a couple readings that were just kind of like, really didn't explain anything to me. And I think there's an opportunity for us to be the person who actually brings it on a level that someone can understand and that it can change their life. When you look at Maya using her shadow work, like, think how that could change someone's life if it's in a really succinct way, like you said, Maya, that they could understand and that they can actually use in their life. And then that tempts them to go further with you if you're their person. So if you're new and you're just starting in your human design business, well, we all need to think about who our person is. But if you are brand new, you probably are the person bringing human design to your community. So you're going to probably want to go a little more basic. Of course, there's always going to be somebody who breaks that rule, but just think about, what stage of awareness is your audience in. That's one of the things you want to consider for your report. So yeah, Maya, I can see how this would really go. This shadow report could really be a low price point offer for you to continue bringing people into your ecosystem. So I think it's a beautiful idea. And I think it's niche enough, it's different enough that it's sexy.
Yeah. Also, I think people, they're kind of attracted by finding in the Bodygraph, like precise things. Sometimes human design can be a bit like general, and I even tend to go like, I want to tell you all about it and spend like hours talking to you. And, oh my God, the variables and the environment, I love it. And it's too much.
Yeah.
And I feel that when you start speaking to people like, okay, this is here and this is here, it's kind of like a hook.
Yeah.
To see how that plays out in their lives in real and not just like broadly. You know? That's why I thought maybe it would ease me into a niche.
Yeah, and it's empowering for our customers as well, right? Because this is something that has come up in the Bodygraph chart community where people are like, but are we just going to like dump a whole bunch of reports out there and like nobody's going to get any value from them anymore? And no, please, let's not do that. Let's really make it something that somebody can use. Like most people do not need more information. Like we don't need to dump, 600 pages of information on them. We need to give them something that they can use. So that's one of the things to consider in your business. Okay. So Maya, does that feel complete for you for now, if we go on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for contributing. I'm not sure that I know how to say your name, Tiana.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Silent J. Thank you, Vicky, and thank you to this lovely community. So I wanted to share how I want to use it. So I'm bringing human design to leaders and teams, and I want to bring it into the business space. I come from a corporate world, worked as a CPA in US. So I kind of feel like I've been attracting a lot of people when I was posting on Instagram, a lot of people for spiritual community who are aware with this tool, but I want to speak to people who are very much in their analytical brains and bring this in a way that is digestive. And what I've been working on is like seeing how other personality systems that people are familiar, like Myers-Briggs, that are heavily used. I kind of like want to showcase human design in this way. So it's very digestible, the language I'm using, and something, as you said, like the bite-sized and pieces that they can like walk away with like one aha moment. And I'm a manifester, so I've done readings and I'm like burned out of that. Like I cannot do human design readings. I used to work in audit, so I really want to use and like offer these reports for people to get familiar with the basics and come for these high like catalytic innovative sessions. And I also want to have these reports for people who are like maybe inclined, like they might be like shying off, like maybe do I believe in this or not, so they get familiar and then they take the further step to come and work with me. And yeah, wanted to share if it's helpful for someone else.
I love all of that. I love that you're mixing it with the other personality tests that they're familiar with. That is so great to make it relatable. I also love the languaging that you use. Like you used innovative and catalyst, and like I love the languaging that you're using for the business space. I think, yeah, a powerful report. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kathy.
I was sneaking a bite of toast. I got to swallow.
I used to be a waitress back in the day, so I had to ask once your mouth was full.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of things. One, when you're talking about niche, I was just thinking of an insight that I had personally, and I don't even remember where it came from this weekend. That was really, if you're aware of variables and stuff, I was really focusing on if you have a top right arrow and a right variable, niching is not really going to be your thing because you're meant to just kind of take in everything on the peripheral, right? And get this like extended view. So like sometimes we have to really like just be really true to who we are and ignore the stuff that the experts are rightly saying work great for other people, and just know like I'm not gonna limit who resonates with me in any way. I'm here to just do me, and whoever wants to work with me, that's who's going to work with me. And I talk about what I do and that sort of thing. So yeah, so Cindy, like Cindy says, yes, you're quad right. It's going to be very different than someone who's quad left, who's meant to be very strategic, know who they, work with, and all of that sort of thing. Now, with my report, one of the things that I've built into, because I've been working on this report for a while, and now I'm kind of taking a deep breath and going, okay, am I going to do something different with this new thing? Because I'm like probably 3/4 done with months and months of work on this other report, right? And so I don't know if I feel some urge to do something else with it. Maybe I'll use the new one now to make a new lead magnet or something. But one of the things that I'm most proud of that I built in the front of my report is something that says, okay, here's how you read your chart. Here's what all these things mean, all of that stuff, so that when I am working with a client, I'm not saying the same thing over and over again to people that doesn't really, like, I want what comes out of my mouth to be the mic drop stuff, right? I don't want to spend my time doing all the little minutia stuff that's super important. But like, when you come and you talk to me, I want you to kind of understand what an energy center is. I want you to kind of understand the basics of where human design came from. So I'm not clear yet, and it'll come when it's supposed to, but I'm curious what other people have done with the idea of, part of me is like, well, maybe I'm going to make this report where people can buy it, and then they can use that report as a discount code on their reading, right? So that they don't get all, so that they don't get all the same stuff said again. And also it encourages people to come into a reading with this kind of foundational understanding. The other thing I thought about is, well, maybe I just include it in a reading regardless, and people can buy it separately. But then as I'm thinking that, then the discount code would really make sense, because yeah. So I'm just wondering if anybody's done anything like that, or you have any other thoughts on that.
Can I share what I do with mine then?
Yes, I'd love to know what, I would love to see your report someday. Like,
Sure, yeah, I can do a little screen recording for you guys. So, okay, so how I worked mine into my ecosystem. How did I work it into my ecosystem? So at the time, my readings were $397. I'm in Canada. Everything costs $1 million here, and we've got a new tax and all that stuff. So my readings at the time were $397. They're more now. And so I created an intro price. So something I'm just going to ask you to play with all of this stuff. Okay. It's just ideas and you to get to play with it. So I love the idea of an intro price when you're coming out with something new, because a whole bunch, as my granddaughter says, a whole bunch of people get on the bandwagon right away. So I sent one email about my my new report, and we had been working on it for a bazillion years, it seemed like. And I sent one email about it, and 14 people bought it that day at $97. So that was really, really nice. And then I think I did an Instagram post, and maybe 4 more people bought, because I had 18 sold that week. So mine was $97. My readings were $397, and mine has a coupon on the back page that says that if you book your reading within 14 days, you get to take the price of your report off of your reading. Because same, Kathy. It's like, I wanted them to have something to digest. My report is, so my report goes through type, strategy, authority, all that stuff, centers, channels, and then every single one of the gates, and it has like a contemplation about each gate. So it's a lot. It's not for the faint of heart. It's a lot, but it's in really pretty easy to understand language. It's not like I don't speak in fancy words. But it's for those people. There's also people who come out of a reading and want more, but they're not in my world. They're not maybe the people who would come in. They're not the people that I would want to coach. I'm very, very, very limited in the people that I coach, because I would rather do group things, than individual things. So I only work with a very few people on one-on-one basis. So it's like, I don't want to call everyone into my coaching practice. So you have to know that, like, what is my end goal here? What do I want? If you're, Tiana just said she's a manifestor and she doesn't have the capacity for all of that one-on-one stuff. Well, then the last thing you want to do is give people a coupon code to have one-on-one time with you, so know what you need in your business. So the other thing that it did was that people who had a reading, that it gave them more information. So on the front end now, my report is now 111 and it has a coupon code for 14, within 14 days, get 111 off your reading. In a reading, when they're booking the reading, there's a tripwire that they can buy that 111 report for $11, one time only, their design only. And everybody adds the $11 thing. Yes, I could just include it, but I really like the energy of having an upsell on it. And I know they're going to use it because they have skin in the game. If they buy it, they're going to use it and they're going to read it. And things that people don't pay for, lots of times they don't use. Does anybody else have like a whole bunch of PDFs and ebooks in their files in their computer that they're going to read someday? I'm sure my kids will find them when I'm dead and they'll be like, why was she collecting all this shit?
Tell me again what the add-on is, because your report is pretty comprehensive. So you have this $11 add-on to your report that adds what?
To a reading.
Oh, to a reading.
When they book a reading, they can, like, right when they book it, not after the reading, right when they book it, they get one chance to buy the 111 report for $11.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's good. So that way if they have, but then when they get the okay, so when they buy that, doesn't it have a coupon code in the back that's going to give them a discount?
I
on a
took it
reading?
off. I took it off of those ones.
You made a version of it that doesn't have the code. Okay.
Yeah. So in Bodygraph chart, I have one that is like upsell and one, it's exactly the same thing, except the last 2 pages are different.
Yeah. Okay. The whole setting up of the commerce of this stuff is also like a little bit.
I know,
know.
it's, yeah,
I
I
know.
use Thrivecart.
Thrivecart?
Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not looking at who's on the call because I'm only seeing a few faces here, but I know that Victoria is going to do us a video for the vault on Thrivecart. She's going to do a video about setting it up with Bodygraph chart, but that's what I use because it was a one-time fee to pay for Thrivecart. So that's what I did.
Once a year or one time ever?
Lifetime.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so Chris, I'm just going to go to Amy first and then I'll come back to you, okay? Thank you. Amy.
So this is really hard for me because I am a 3-5 and a quad left, and so I'm like hearing things and I'm wanting to answer all of them. I'm gonna try to not do that. But what I am doing, I started out super niched trying to do business because I'm in corporate recovery. And I used to be a broker, and like I want all those people to have the epiphany I had when I found human design years ago. And so I started out thinking it was going to be business, but it's not at all that. It's like human design for like toddlers, like easy speak. I want it to be so accessible, like you read your daily horoscope in the newspaper and you instantly know what it means, like
Yes.
it's normal language. So that's what I'm doing. And an answer for Maya, which is how I'm approaching this, is I have Google Docs. I have like a Google Doc for every single thing of everything, and broken down to like, this is for what I'd say about kids, and this is what I'd say about parents, and it's like obnoxious. But I am making languages. So I have my normal language, and then I'm making a shadow language, and then I'm making a children language, and I'm doing it that way. So then I can make a report and say this one's going to be targeted for parents, and it's just going to pull all the content I've written about the parental stuff. I don't know if this is the best way, and I'm a 3-5. I've been with Bodygraph chart since, I don't know, I think this might be my 3rd year, so I've seen a lot of growth here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's gonna like, there'll be a better way in the future, but this is the best way I've tweaked the system to get it out with a button push.
I love that. I
So
love how
that's
you're
what I'm doing.
experimenting.
I have I have one I have a $3 report that's the big 3, and then I have an $11 preview, which is the same content plus little teeny short things of the rest.
Yeah.
And then now I'm working on this 120-page thing and sweating about getting it into the new system, or do I have to, or whatever. That's a whole different Oprah. But that's how I'm approaching it. Super dirt cheap things that people who see a TikTok can click and go be like, oh, I'll spend $3 on this.
Yeah.
You know, having that, and then this big one's going to be, I haven't decided a price yet, but it's going to be an upcharge. And I'm doing the same thing that you do, which is offering a coupon off of a reading, because ultimately that's what I want to do. I want to babble about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love readings. They're one of my favorite things to do in my business, and it makes no
Same.
sense because I know that, yeah, I know, like, you know, everybody in the world tells you, you got to do things that'll scale. You got to do things that'll scale. But it's like, I freaking love to do a reading. It's like, I just love it. It lights me up. So
Well,
yeah.
so that's why I'm doing all of these reports that are more approachable, but they are teasers. They are intended for you to be like, I want to have a conversation about this.
Yes.
And so that is how I'm approaching it.
Yeah. So let's just talk about pricing for a minute, and then we're going to go to Chris. I'm sorry to be ignoring you there, Chris, for a second, but pricing. So when you hear Amy say she's selling something for $3 or $11, does your heart kind of stop a little bit and you go, oh my God, how can I sell something for $3? How can I sell something for $11? You don't have to. You don't have to sell something. You can sell something for $300 if you want. But Amy is doing it with intention. So that's what I would love to invite you to do as we go through these 6 calls together, is to really put a lot of intention into your pricing. Your price, like the reason that Amy said that she's doing that is because it's something that someone can buy quickly on TikTok. Yes, absolutely. You're not going to get somebody, you know, who discovers you once to spend even $27 probably, but $3? Yeah, they'll part with $3. Doesn't mean you have to create a $3 report. Your report needs to fit into the ecosystem of your business. I don't have, I've got a $27 masterclass that's coming out, but for the most part, I don't have offers that are really super low ticket. Some people, they'll build low ticket offers. I mean, there are people who make millions of dollars selling only $27 and $37 products. And then there are people who don't sell anything under $3,000. So you can do whatever you want. You're the boss of you. But the thing that I'm going to invite you to do is to really put some intention behind it, so that by the time you come in on Thursday, you're like, okay, I've thought about the pricing. I don't know exactly what I'm going to put in my report, but I know how it needs to fit in. I know who I'm speaking to. My person is brand new, or my person is a business person, or my person is, you know, it's been in their experiment for 5 years, whatever the thing is for you. I know who I'm speaking to. I know who I'm building my report for. And I have an idea of the pricing. Actual pricing tips. The brain loves 7s. The brain loves 7s. And you can look up the psychology of pricing, the psychology of numbers, all of these things on your own time. Doesn't mean you have to have a $7 product instead of a $3 product. Please don't take that to mean that, or doesn't mean you have to have a whatever. You get to do what you want. But there are certain price points that work well. So if you were going to price your report at $40, I would ask you to price it at $47. Because your buyer, potential buyer, is going to read the same thing. Whether it's $40 or $47, they're going to think it's $40. So you're going to do something like that. I invite you to do something like that. So like 27, 47, 97, 197, 297, 397, 497, 597. And then we skip 697 for some reason in the brain. And we go right to 797 or 997. And then from 997, we go to 1497 and then to 1997. So there is psychology around pricing. So start to think about that when you're looking at your offers, when you're pricing your report. And you know, maybe you have a $7 quick little thing like Amy has, that's like a clickbait kind of thing. Not saying that Amy's is a clickbait thing, but like it's something to just like get them fast. Okay. Some people don't like that word. So I've said it and I was like, oh shoot. Okay. So, you know, maybe there's a $7 thing, and then there's a $37 thing, or sorry, a $27 thing. And then there's a $397, but start to play with this, because you really want to build the system. Okay. Chris, sorry, that was like a tangent.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate and receive wholeheartedly your apology and offer in return. There is no sorry. You say what you feel guided to say, and it's absolutely perfect in the moment.
Thank you.
And divine timing, as human design offers, is the absolute best, most delightful way to experience life.
Mm.
I'm hearing everyone's words at this point, and what I'm feeling called to share, to add to what we're saying, is that I'm seeing that some people interpret the word niche in an unpleasant way. And so I'd like to offer a slightly different perspective. As I'm discovering more about myself in human design, I'm feeling more and more that, in the words of Dr. Parker, human design is not a label, it's not a definition, it's a foundation that narrows down the scope of where I could potentially learn more about myself. It's an invitation to journey and to discover, to feel inspired to move in certain directions. And so as I step into this experience as a human design practitioner, I feel more and more that I'm going to better connect with people who are attracted to me, drawn to me, who feel inspired to connect with me for the information that I alone am uniquely qualified and positioned to offer to them. And so it's important for me to come into alignment with my true essence, because only then am I able to be inspired to share with my intended clients what they are intended to receive from me. And no one else on this planet in this existence has that capability. And I also perceive the human design as a wide open invitation for everyone to discover what their unique magnificence is, because not a one of us is unique, or rather, not a one of us is special, but we are all unique. So discovering what that uniqueness is and how I best show up in the world in a way that people can hear me, see me, and receive my offering, my gifts. So I don't perceive a niche in the same way. It's my unique magnificence. How can I come into alignment with my true essence and my higher self and offer that in a way of best possible well-being for myself and others?
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. You are the niche. Some people would, that's how they would put it, right? That you are the niche.
That, if the word niche resonates with you, yes. As a projector, I feel more in alignment with guide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I guess you guys say niche in the States, right? Niche is the thing in the States. Niche you can't. Oh no. Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay, Danielle.
Hello. Okay, so I am really struggling with how to communicate on my website through an automated system, how to capture information for people who don't know their birth time. Right now, I have a separate form and then it gets emailed to me and then I have to enter it in based on what they might think. So I would love some suggestions on how we can pull charts and get readings for people who just don't know what time of day they were born.
Mm-hmm. So do you have information on do you have a blog?
I have a website, I have a blog, yes.
Okay, so
And I have currently it's set up where I've got the Bodygraph chart, and then I have a button right above it says, I don't know my birth time, and they fill out a form, and then it comes to me, and then I mess around with it, and it's much more. And these are for paying clients, for the record. These are not free charts.
okay. So I'll tell you what I do and then we'll ask what everybody else does. So I created a blog post. It sounds really simple, but I created a blog post, how to find your birth time. And the first thing I do is I direct people to that so that they do the legwork. And then I mean, I used to do a lot of like playing with the birth times and everything and trying to get it for somebody in the back and forth and all of that. But then it got to the point where it's like, why am I doing this for free? Because this is taking easily an hour of my time, sometimes more. depending on how back and forth they are. So now I charge for it. If they want me to do the legwork, I charge for it. I'm like, this is at least an hour of my time and this is what it is. But I encourage them to, most people just read the blog post and start there. So
That's great advice. Thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Because it is something that can be automated. What does everybody else do for? Does anybody else want to share? Do they do something differently for helping someone find their birth time?
I get to research it, but I recently was drawn to a post somewhere where someone offered that there is an individual with the ability to energetically connect with somebody's birth time. And I'll make a note here to find it and then share it into our chat channel.
Interesting. Thank you. And that's something else that I always leave people with is that I do a lot of voice memoing. So, but I always leave people with is like your soul knows when it arrived here. And, you know, like your higher self to your birth mother's highest self, like between the two of you, you can figure it out. But I mean, not everybody is as woo as that, right? So yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let me just check my notes really quickly. Okay, so the things that I would love to, I don't even know what time it is here. The things that I would love to get you to play with for the next couple of days, in terms of what report you're going to build is who is your customer? And I see that there are over 60 messages in the chat since the last time I checked. So I am probably not going to take the time on this call to go through those all, but what I will do is, I have saved the chat and I'll go into the Facebook group and I'll tag you out. If you had a question that you need me to answer, I'll tag you out and answer it. And we'll just discuss things in the group for the next 6 weeks. 6 weeks? 3 weeks. 3 weeks. We'll discuss things in the group for the next 3 weeks about your report. So start to think about who is your customer. And if you're brand new, who do you want your customer to be when you're starting out? And you get to choose, right? You get to choose who you would love to work with. What stage of awareness are they in? It doesn't matter if she drives a Buick or a Subaru. It doesn't matter if he makes $300,000 a year or $100,000 a year. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what stage of awareness do they have about human design, because that's what is going to matter for your report. What services do you offer now in your business, or what do you want to offer in your business if you're just starting out? If you know that you want to be able to do readings, I'm going to give you a tip that I did when I was starting up my business as well. But if you know that you want to do readings and you want to have them at $197, then you're going to know that your report isn't going to be a $97 report. If your readings, your next step is $197, your report might be $47, something like that. So just start to play. It's all an experiment. Just like your human design, it's all an experiment. There's no such thing as getting it wrong. You were just going to play with it, and it's going to change over time. Your business is going to change so much in the first 3 years. You won't even recognize it 3 years from now from where you are today. It's just the universe is just going to keep giving you things to grow with. Start to think about as well, what is the transformation that you provide? So especially if you've been here for a while, what exactly is it that you help your clients to do? What is your magic sauce? Because that might be something that you want to flavor your report with as well. We already talked about the price point. That's something that you're going to want to know, the price point of your main offers. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little tip that I did when I started my human design business, and it was the best thing that I ever did in my business. And then I'll come back, Kathy. The very best thing, because I know that if you're new here and you're just getting your business off the ground, chances are that you feel a little bit nervous, or sometimes you feel like you don't know enough, or you feel like, how am I ever going to get in front of people? How am I going to get readings booked? How am I going to make money doing this? All of the things. Does that resonate? If you're new, have you ever had a question like that come up in your mind, or a thought come up like that in your mind? So when I started, it was coming on to Christmas time. And I offered a 12 Days of Christmas series, and I cut it off at 11 people. I said there were 11 spots available. I am a big fan of scarcity. I'm not a big fan of scarcity in my life. I'm a big fan of scarcity in my like a limited time offer, an intro price, only so many available, that type of thing in my business, because so that's honors my design. I'm a Manny Gen. I'm going to get sick of it really, really fast. Like I'm probably not going to be doing the same thing 12 years from now that I'm doing now. And anyway, blah, 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 blah. So I cut it off at 11 people, 11 offers, and it was 12 days of Christmas. Every single day they got a 3 to 5 minute voice memo from me that gave one piece of their design. So over the course, it ended up being 13 recordings times 11, whatever that number is. That's what I did for like 2 weeks at Christmas time. And I learned so much about human design. Because really, until you're in there in the trenches practicing it, like you can have it all in your head, but until it has to come out of your mouth when you're in the room with somebody, it's a different ballgame when you're in the room with somebody. So Kathy was talking about how she wants her people to have a baseline of knowledge when they come in. You may not feel like that if you're brand new. If you're brand new and you're on this call and you heard Kathy say that, you might have been thinking, holy shit, I'm sorry. I hope I'm okay to swear on Bodygraph chart webinars. I just act like it's my own. You might be saying, holy crap. I don't want people to know something when they come in, because then what am I going to tell them if they know things already? So that can be a thing, right? So again, it's like, what stage is your customer at? What stage of awareness are they in? But is there some way that you can set up where you can just like bam, 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 hammer it out with a certain amount of people? Even if you do like a beta round, I don't want you to do it for free. I know I see a lot of people saying, you need to do some offers for free. I'm not a big fan of free things. Not that I have to be a fan of what you're doing in your business. But when people purchase something, there's skin in the game, and it also builds you up differently than a free offer ever will. And this is a business. This is a business, and the more people buy from you, the more people will buy from you. That's just how the universe works. The more you keep, doing things that, I'm not talking about not doing things free as far as social media or anything, but something that should be a paid offer, let it be a paid offer. Okay, Vicky, get off your soapbox. So is there a way that you can put something out there that just gets you really, really, really fired up and on the ground moving in your business? That was the best thing that I did for my business, was have to do it in a 2-week period, just really a whole bunch of human design stuff. And then it was like, no problem. I knew every single gate. I knew like all the things that I was struggling to memorize. I'm a quad, right? So all the things that were really hard for me to memorize, all of a sudden just were there. So that's just a little tip that you didn't ask for. Kathy.
Okay, so another thing that popped up that I didn't ask before. So
Yep.
like I said, I've been working on this report, and it kind of started really to take off when you did the thing where we were supposed to create a lead magnet.
Yep.
Except what I downloaded was something that wasn't called a lead magnet. I don't remember what it was called. It had a strange name to it, but it basically had type, authority, profile, and centers already kind of in there, but it was in its own language. And so first I was going to use that as a lead magnet, and I went in and just changed the colors. And then I realized it doesn't really sit with me to use anybody else's words. So I'm like, I need to start rewriting this. So I started to put my own stuff into there, and I left it up and have got a little disclaimer saying this is being tweaked in progress, or whatever word a little more eloquently than I just can't seem to do right now. But they so I've left it up there for free, and I then all of a sudden realized, no, I've got to stop I can't keep editing it in the middle of this, especially when I started to do the centers. I didn't want the ajna to be my format. And so I made a copy, and I've been working on that. So my question is, ultimately, I'd like it to be similar in content things as what you say you do, where it's going to contain all of that. But that's going to take me a really long time. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm first going to put it up there once I finish. I still have to finish authority and lines of the profile. Everything else is done. And that sounds like I didn't do much, but trust me, there's a lot in there about how to read your chart and all this stuff. So when I put it up there in this existing format, I've got a couple different options, and I realize I'm kind of processing rather than asking. So, because that's my design.
Yeah.
I think I can put it up there when it's just those elements I mentioned and offer it at a price, and then make a version of it, change the cover, change the name, tweak a little bit of the layout, and add in the extended version and offer it as, you know, a more extensive report. But then I wonder, since the sum of the content will be absolutely the same, is that going to be a bad idea? Should I just take the other one down and offer the newer one? Because, you know, you could have people who buy the one and then buy the other, and then they're like, oh, you know, this is all stuff I've already got, and I just spent this, you know. So thoughts on how you upgraded your report over time, that sort of thing, and how you changed your prices and did that.
Sure. So for my report, I didn't upgrade it. I just raised the price, because I had told them it was an intro price. So that's why. And I didn't say like mine has variables and stuff in it too. I didn't say that, but that has. So I love Amy's idea, and I might even get her to walk us through how she's doing this, but I love Amy's idea of the preview. So, you could do the one that's there now that you've tweaked and all of that. And then you could give like a coupon code to buy the whole thing, like unlock the whole thing for this and put this money that you've already spent towards this. Like I always want to over deliver. And I think that that's something that we all can probably, if you're here, that you want to do that too, right? That, you know, under promise and over deliver. So how the report is already done. That's the beauty of these reports, is that it's done. Yes, it can be a lot of work depending on what you put into it in the beginning, but then it's done. Then for the rest of time, you have an income stream in your business. So say you sell that intro thing, say you put it at $27 and this bigger one is $97. Well, can you take the 27 off of the 97? So it's like it's unlocking more. So maybe a preview, like Amy's saying, where there's a preview that you show even in a video. It could be just as simple as a video of you not showing everything that's there. Like, you know how on Instagram, how you can put a frame as if somebody's looking through a window and give them a preview. So you could give them a preview. You could even record it in your Instagram story. Give them a preview of what else they're going to unlock with the full report. And the other thing that I would do, Kathy, I know that you're great on social media, and I know that, you know, I'm a fan of social media, like building things up on social media. I would be bringing your people on the journey of how you are building this out even more.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And I'm thinking that right now I have this thing, like I said, it's kind of a hybrid, where it's got some of the stuff that is just different colors with somebody else's words. And it's almost like, you know, the universe knows, like people are not downloading that as much as they're downloading. I have a PDF with descriptions that basically is, you know, just that's free. And I have Karen Curry Parker's ready-made free report that you can get in the quantum language. That's $35. And I think I've had as many people pay for that report as probably have downloaded the free Loving All Parts of Yourself that I call the other one. And I don't know. I don't know if it's that, you know, that the universe knows that this is not all me. And I'm not saying specifically that it's not, like that feels out of integrity maybe. So I don't know. It's interesting how things turn out. So
interesting. Yeah.
I might
The other
take it
thing that
down.
came into my brain was the languaging. I wonder if you change that to a negative, like instead of I can't love all parts of yourself, like
Parts of yourself.
stop loathing something, or stop, you know, like I wonder if you used a powerful, like something that they could stop doing, because sometimes that will catch people more than working towards a positive, especially when we say like loving yourself. Because in the spiritual space, yes, we all know we need to get there, but like how many people do you work with who it's like that is the lifetime struggle, that like how can I possibly, so would they be attracted to something that's maybe, but I would just wonder if you could test it and change it to like a negative hook and see if it sells
I
more.
wondered if it was the name that people just, because it says right under it, an introduction to your human design. But you know, I'm very big on positive language, but sometimes you got to address the negative before you can get to the positive. So I think that might be part of it as well. So thank you. That's helpful.
Yep. And then Amy, Sorry. I see you in the chat, but I'm not letting myself go over there.
Yeah, Amy said Word as a solution to the problem.
Oh, there you go.
Problem, right?
There. Okay. Stop. There's lots
And
of
somebody said self-love is so bloody triggering for women.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's true. And I honestly, you know, have something on my website that talks about radical self-love. But I've noticed as I'm talking to people, and even I'm now, little pat on the back here, I've been asked to speak at the International Human Design Conference in September. And
Yay.
I'm talking about radical self-trust.
Mm.
So embracing uncertainty, I'm left angle cross of uncertainty through radical self-trust. And I feel like that seems to land easier for people than the radical self-love. That, so I need to go back and tweak some of the stuff in my website too. So many things, so little sacral energy.
No kidding. Well, I have sacral energy and I'm like, oh my gosh, the list is endless of things to grow your business, which is fun. Super, super fun. Okay. So I have saved the chat. So I will go through and I will answer these questions during the day today. Chris is there's so many recommendations in the chat there, I'm sure. So, whoa. So make sure that you go through. And you've got your homework for the next couple of days ahead. Oh, just a second here. I can't see that. Okay. There we go. So, and Emily, I apologize if you were trying to speak. It was very, very choppy. So if you do want to unmute and speak, please do so. I wasn't sure if it was just a mistake and unmute.
Okay, yeah, I just had a quick question. How do we access the replays? Because I'm gonna have to cut out early on Thursday.
Yeah. So if you're as long as you're registered for the calls, you'll get the replays. And then I'm not sure what we are going to be doing with them afterwards. We will probably be putting them in like some sort of a guide or something in the Facebook group. And then I'm not sure what Giddis is going to do, but you just follow along and you'll see, because you'll be able to do it in your business when you do something as well. Someone mentioned in the chat something about a workbook. I'm building the workbook as we go. So I will take all of the stuff that we discussed today and all of your juiciness and pop it into a workbook. So the workbook won't be finished until we're finished. And then you guys will have it first.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Is Thursday different? Yes, every call will be different because I never do the same thing twice. It's a challenge. So yeah, Thursday is different. I can't remember what's on the agenda for Thursday, but I'll post it in the group for you. Okay. Carrie.
Really quick, I am locked out of Facebook, and so I can't get into anything right now and haven't for 3 weeks. So is there any other place that we're gonna, and I know you don't have the answer right now, but I'm just putting it out there that not everybody's on Facebook. Is there anything that we can do for replays that's not Facebook?
For replays? Yeah, you're going to get them by email.
Okay. Okay. I misunderstood that. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And that's a good reminder for me to come up with some way to bring people into the community aspect of it who are not on Facebook yet. So thank you for that. Definitely. Okay. So I'm just going to recap your homework to bring to Thursday's call, and I will put it in the group what that call is about. And then, so we will probably do a little bit more discussion. We may start working, but then calls 3, 4, and 5 are completely working on your report. So coming in, getting together, tech team will be here. I don't imagine that we will have tech issues because the new report tool is freaking amazing and like so easy that even I can do it. So if I can do it, I'm sure you guys can have your report completely written on call number 3. Lara's putting some links in the chat for you there. So a reminder, your homework: who is your customer? What's their stage of awareness? What is your product suite, or what product suite would you like to have? What price point fits in with your product suite? And what do you love to talk about? Whatever you want to feel about niche is fine. I am going to, you're going to be on camera for a minute, okay? Or like exit off. We're all going to do we're going to take a picture so we can story. Take it off of this little thing. So if anybody wants a picture, go ahead and take one so that you can pop it on your story about all of the work that you're doing with Bodygraph chart. Does everybody want to wave? Ah. Okay, so if you post that or when you post that on your socials, you can tag Bodygraph chart in it if you'd like. And take people on the journey. This is your reminder to take people on the journey with you. You're doing something really freaking big in your business that a lot of people never, ever, ever do. A lot of people never build a passive income product in their business. So you don't have to call it that unless you're focused on business people, but bring people with you. I'm creating this, or I'm thinking of creating this excellent resource for parenting 3-year-olds. Or, you know, oh my gosh, I'm just putting this in my report. You can have your phone over your shoulder. You can have your partner stand behind you, your kids stand behind you and take a little video over your shoulder of you working. That counts as B-roll, and put some text on it. What are you doing? Bring people with you because people want to know. My daughter always tells me that. I don't watch stories. I'm like, I don't understand who cares about these things, but they do care about those things. They care a lot. My daughter always, she's 30, she'll be 35 on Tuesday. But she always says, people want to know, Mom. People want to know. So bring people with you on the journey of what you're doing. Make some really fun things. And if you do something, or when you do something that's absolutely spectacular, come and tell us about it in the group so that we can celebrate with you too, okay? All right. All good? I saw another hand up, but now it's down. So I'm going to assume that we're good.
Our
I
hands
just
went up from waving.
sorry.
Okay, Emily, what's up?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I never got the link to Zoom to go to the Zoom when I registered. I just went back and re-registered this morning and then it let me do it, but I just didn't know if there needed to be something said about that because I didn't get the link. And I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, thank you. I will let the team know. Yeah, you definitely have to. So make sure that you register for the Tuesday calls and the Thursday calls. Once you've registered for the experience. Okay, I didn't either. Okay, I'll oh yeah, okay. I'll send it to the team. Thank you, Emily. And Kathy, did you want to say something else?
No, I was just saying a lot of our hands went up because when we were waving, if you have the automatic
Oh.
gestures, it just puts your hand up after a certain amount of time. So I noticed
Thank
mine
you.
was up and I put it down. I saw a couple other people too. But I wanted to say, so, I feel like I do so many of these calls, but for some reason I really have trouble getting connected with these. And I realized with this one, what I did not see in the registration thing, and maybe other people did this too, was I registered for the thing, but then there were links inside there that said pick which days. And I hadn't done that because I wanted to do all of them. And I just thought I'd already registered. And we're used to doing these things also quickly. So I think I'm assuming I might not be the only one who didn't register for the Zoom links. And so I kept going back thinking I'm going to get one of those MSN or whatever it was, those Microsoft things. And I was like checking everywhere, re-registering, doing all that stuff. And then finally I saw that and then I got on late because of it. But yeah, so sometimes we need like it explained for small children.
Yes, agreed.
Like
Agreed.
big, bold letters, right?
Yeah, I will take that to the tech team for sure. We did put on the bottom of every email the next step thing, but it might have been, obviously it was missed. I'm always thankful to know that other people miss things. I got to tell you, I'm sorry that you missed it, Kathy, but it's like makes my mini gen self feel like just a little bit less chaotic when a projector misses it. I'm like, whew, it's not just me. So we'll get working on that. And I think, yeah. But at least we're on Zoom and not Teams, right?
Yeah. And
Am I-
clearly a lot of people missed it because if you look in the participants, there's all those people who used the one
Okay.
person's link who shared. There's a million of the same names.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of people used one person's link that they shared on Facebook to get in here. So
Okay. So I will share that with the team for sure so that they can we can figure out a better workaround for it. I love how
yes,
Bodygraph
maybe
chart
for
just
Zoom.
yeah, Zoom, yes. I love how
Right?
Bodygraph chart responds to all of the feedback so well. Yeah.
Yes, they're awesome. I love them. So
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a complainer.
Yeah. No. Okay. Have a great day, everybody. Get your homework done, and I'll see you back here on Thursday. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.